I was expected to play a little more, but I was hindered by some little nagging injuries during preseason, so I know I was going to get a chance to come out and show what I can do today, and I'm just happy I did a good job of doing what everybody expected me to do from me.
Before EST Gee would become one of the hottest rappers to emerge out of Kentucky since Jack Harlow, thanks to songs like Morals and On the Floor. Before EST Gee would find himself shot 5 times and nearly lose his life in September of 2019.
Yep, got shot 5 times. My people was with me, my brother was with me. Got shot in his leg, I got shot in my stomach 4 times, and I got shot in my face and my left eye.
Before EST Gee would have over 166,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 562,000 followers on Instagram at the time of this recording. It's been said that fame and fortune changes people, but don't tell that to EST Gee. This dude is still the same guy he always has been, despite the fact that he's now earning himself nearly 7-figure paydays and performing on stage next to Jack Harlow. It's a far cry away from his early days growing up in the Clarksdale projects of Louisville, Kentucky, where he was never too far away from possibly making poor decisions that would send his life in the wrong direction. Include earning himself a prison sentence at only 16 years old. But flash forward a little over 10 years later, and EST Gee now has the poise of a seasoned musical veteran. He told Complex, "My general principles and my morals haven't changed. I act the same, feel the same, move the same. I got a lot of discipline. A lot of people aren't disciplined enough to just be on one thing and keep it that way." Keeping things the same might have been a contributing factor to EST Gee catching 5 bullets only a couple years ago, but there's little denying that the path that he's forged himself appears to finally be paying off, big time. What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy Clyde Smith. Recent drops in this series have included looks at Santana Dave and Scarlett Johansson. And since this show works off a request, please don't forget to leave us some ideas with who you want to see next, and I'll see you guys after the intro. EST Gee was born George Stone III on May 11, 1994, and raised in the Newburgh neighborhood of Jefferson County, Louisville, Kentucky, by his parents Sheila and George, alongside his siblings Kieran Britt and Keona Curtis. Despite the fact that Louisville is seemingly in the midst of transforming into a hotbed of musical talent, EST Gee likes to make it a point that the city has yet to be given its proper due when it comes to artists it's produced.
If you're familiar with me, then you gonna see Louisville clearly through my music. We got 2 or 3 or 4 other artists that's on a major platform right now. I'm just the first one in my type of genre of music that's really getting that big light put on them, so I just gotta make sure I do it the right way.
Gee takes pride in being someone that the streets of Louisville helped shape, and he oftentimes uses his music to reflect on the struggles that were part of his early life, when he would earn his living in the gray areas of the legal system to survive on the streets. But before Gee got wrapped up in all of that, his original grand plan was to become a football player, believe it or not. While attending St. Xavier High School, Gee was rated as a top linebacker in all of Kentucky. He eventually earned himself a football scholarship to Indiana State University, majored in communications, and became the first of his family to attend college. He told Pitchfork, "All everyone care about in Louisville is making it to college sports. I had to try and make it for my people, especially because I never been bad at nothing." He played there for a couple of seasons in the mid-2000s, but ultimately his initial dream didn't work out as planned, after Gee caught felony charges for marijuana that would disqualify him from his scholarship. Once back on the streets of Louisville, over the course of the next few years, Gee would find himself serving stints on house arrest and probation for drug trafficking. The one positive thing about this period of his life is now that football was no longer his life's purpose, he could focus on his other passions. When Gee caught Lil Baby performing live on television, he discovered his new goal in life: to become one of the greatest rappers in the game. As a kid, Gee had been a massive fan of rappers like Boosie, Gucci Mane, Future, and Yo Gotti. He told XXL, "They were just talking about gangsta shit. My daddy used to listen to gangsta shit. It was just what was most relatable to me, what was going on around me. It was easy to listen to because I understood it." Taking some of the best qualities of those legends, Gee began to record his own raps in a studio he set up inside of his bathroom. By May of 2018, he was finally off of house arrest and ready to make some real moves to get his fledgling career off of the ground. Before long, tracks like New Numbers were earning him local buzz and making his peers stand up to take notice. Now, if you're wondering how he settled on his stage name EST Gee, well, the first part stands for Everybody Shine Together, and the last part is just a simplification of his given name George. This would become the name a whole ton of people would discover him under, especially after he dropped his self-release albums El Toro and Die Bloody in 2019. At this point, everything was coming up golden for EST Gee, but by September of 2019, things would take a drastic turn for the worse. That month, Gee was shot 5 times with 4 bullets, catching him in the gut and another grazing his eye, almost blinding him.
Boom, hit my stomach. And I want to say that second one, I felt that second one. And after that, I ain't feel nothing else. I opened the door and I was like, damn, should I jump out on the highway just so my funeral ain't no closed casket? I feel like I done a whole lot of stuff in my life. So if that was my time, I was at peace with that.
The incident took place while Gee was filming a music video in Atlanta and kept him hospitalized for about 2 weeks while he recuperated from the extent of his injuries. Never one to take time off though, Gee began writing his eventful next album, Feel Nuttin', while recovering and also dropped previously recorded singles like Morals, Taught Different, and On the Floor to keep his name circulating. Before long, Gee was once again healthy, but 2020 would bring a new set of challenges. Not only did the pandemic throw a monkey wrench into any touring plans that he might have had, but his mother would pass away from leukemia. Then, shortly after that, his brother was shot and killed on the streets of Louisville.
My mama was always the person who kind of understood. So with her passing, it was just hard. It's still hard right now because it's fresh. I'm just trying to do what I think she'll want me to do.
These tragedies only made Gee more determined than ever to succeed at his life's goal, and thankfully the universe was lining up to help him with that. After having heard Gee's new song, New Numbers, in 2019, Jack Harlow reached out and asked him to collaborate on his new single, Route 66. After experiencing his biggest mainstream moment to date, Gee was offered the services of his idol Yo Gotti's label, CMG Records. Around this time, he and Gotti were discussing the deal. Lil Baby also connected with him and offered to do business as well. But seeing as how Gee already has given his word to Gotti, Gee thanked Lil Baby for the interest, but he told him he was going to stand by his commitment. Despite not teaming up with Lil Baby on the business side of things, Gee did collaborate with the legend soon after on their single Real As It Gets, which would go on to earn him his first Billboard Hot 100 hit single when it reached the 34th spot on the charts. As for that label deal with Gotti, well, it's definitely lucrative. How much though? Only featured a signing bonus of around $750,000. That's a bonus, not an advance. Know the difference if you want to make it in this business, kids.
It's 350, he's 10, 360, 70, 80, 90, 390.
With the sport of Gotti now behind him and his most recent album, Still Don't Feel Nuttin', tearing up the charts, the sky is the limit for EST Gee. The only question is, where does he go next? Well, that'll be a story for another time and another place. After all, this is Before They Were Famous. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at Before They Were Famous to vote on what's next, and I'll catch you guys in another video.